Are you living the Delaware Beach lifestyle? You can't live at the beach and do nothing. This up-and-coming year-round area has lots to offer. Find out where to eat, play, and serve. Living the ultimate dream.
Yeah, so, all right, guys, welcome to the 302 Lifestyle Beach Podcast. We have Sheldon in the house. So this is the Millsboro town manager, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
So a little nervous here being with you.
Oh, no, it's all good. It's all good.
No, I love Millsboro. And so me and my wife came out here from Las Vegas.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So as we got to know the area and stuff, it's been 10 years now. But 10 years ago, Millsboro, so like you're driving through Millsboro to get to like Bethany Beach, that's where I'm at. Mm-hmm. And you're going through cornfields and like, you know, small little houses and like Clayton Pier and all these different things going on. Wait, that's not Millsboro.
It's close by.
Yeah. Okay. You got the little water scene going on and all kinds of stuff happening. And then it kind of opens up to the beach. But what I experienced at the beach was retired people, very seasonal, nobody on the road in the winter season. And then if you wanted to do something or year round or events or stuff going on, you check out towns like Millsboro.
Yeah. Exactly.
And doing a little bit of research before the show here, Millsboro only has 7,000 people in it? Is that?
So the town proper we're thinking has maybe 7,000 or 8,000. We're issuing residential building permits like crazy. So I think we had 1 month earlier this year, 2021, there were 80 or 90 permits issued in a single month. So if you assume there's 2 to 3 people per house, so I always encourage people to look beyond the raw number, the 7,000 or 8,000, and look at the growth rate. So I think one town that's really analogous to Millsboro in Delaware is Middletown. So Middletown 10 or 15 years ago was where Millsboro is today, and now Middletown's, I think, approaching 30,000 people. So I really think in my lifetime, you'll see Millsboro be the next Salisbury or Dover or Middletown and be kind of a hub on Delmarva.
Well,
and it's starting to become that. So
yeah, somebody knows something. So I heard some rumors about Walmart trying to pop up, and the land wasn't being sold. Texas Roadhouse just popped up in there. So obviously somebody knows something about the growth rates around those. So
exactly, because a lot of those retailers look at like a 15-minute drive time or a 20-minute drive time. So they're not just looking at how many people are in your corporate limits. So we're estimating there's anywhere between 50 to 100,000 or more within a 20-minute drive. So when you take that into account, I mean, there's quite a few people in the Millsboro area. So
yeah,
and those are year round. So
yeah, and just in the past 5 years, so we have a cleaning company. We're getting calls left and right for out in Millsboro, all these new developments popping up, and they're all year round people. A lot of families. So Indian River School District services Millsboro.
Correct.
Right?
Yeah.
How is these school districts handling the growth rates? I mean, because this is one of the fastest growing areas, not let alone Millsboro for residential and commercial. How are the school districts handling the growth rates?
So, I mean, I think that's part of why they've used that information as an impetus, if that's the right word, for these referenda that the Indian River School District has been, proposing in recent years. Is, hey, look at the growth. We need this additional revenue. So I don't want to take a position on that because that's a school district issue. But certainly there is the increased demand when you look purely at population. And Dylan, you alluded to the year-round nature of Millsboro, and I think that's what helps differentiate us maybe from most of the beach towns is that we're seeing the year-round nature of the growth. We're seeing a lot of families, a lot of working professionals, and we were actually named one of the top 50 cities in the U.S. and Canada for work from home by PC Mag. So if you're familiar with PC Magazine, it's pretty well known in the IT world. Wow. So that was, and it was kind of a surprise. It's not something we applied for, but when we found that out, especially coming out of the lockdown season, that was really powerful because we want to recruit that working professional. In fact, I've got a friend of mine. He's probably about mid-30s. His wife's around age 30. He is a professional firefighter for Anne Arundel County. He also works for the Town of Ocean City Fire Department. But he lives right here in the southeast Sussex. So it's pretty cool. We want to see more of that type of profile moving into the area. Not that we're anti-retiree, but we want the town to have a year-round feel. So we're trying to attract the retail that appeals to a lot of millennials and Gen Xers. So
all right, so Millsboro is obviously the place to check out if you're trying to live down here. We've got all these big cities around here. People trying to escape the hustle and the stress and all that.
Sure.
And go to a more relaxed area, and Millsboro is definitely it.
Yeah.
All right. So what's some of your favorite spots that someone can check out in Millsboro if they're just coming to the area?
So I would say we're seeing a lot of growth on the restaurant side. So downtown, we've got Plate and Palette, we've got Blue Water Grill. There's rumor of another new restaurant coming in the old Georgia House space in the coming months.
Ooh, yeah.
Kind of another sit-down restaurant. Then out on the highway, we've got Texas Roadhouse just opened in the last few weeks, Grotto Pizza. On the quick service or fast food side, recent years, we've had Chick-fil-A come, Starbucks, Jersey Mike's. So a lot of these well-known national brands as well as some local options. So it's a good mix because, some people like the known quantity. They like the national brand. Some people want that, that more custom type of feel, the foodies. So you've got a little bit for everyone, and we're hoping to build on that. And areas we're really focusing on now are grocery stores. A lot of people say they want more grocery options, entertainment, indoor and outdoor recreation. We've worked on, folks like Boys and Girls Club, YMCA, to bring that type of option to the town because we want things for families to do. Yeah. The goal is, as I think you and I talked about before the show, is, live, work, play in Millsboro. Mm-hmm. You don't have to drive to Salisbury. You don't have to drive to Rehoboth. And we're finding a lot of the cell phone ping data is showing us that a lot of our customers are coming either from further east or further south. So we're seeing, that Dagsboro to Bethany corridor. We're also seeing the Berlin, West Ocean City corridor kind of as a secondary area that we're pulling from. And I'm assuming that's the lack of sales tax in Delaware. So we're trying to attract and market to those two kind of areas. So
so that's probably the number one top 3 reasons I hear people wanting to move to this area is taxes. Escaping stress and stuff like that, and just a lot of people that just grew up coming to the area in general. And they're looking for an alternative option than the $500,000 homes closer to the beach. So it's more affordable. That's where a lot of even the working population is out in that area too, because it's something that you can pay and live and year round. So
and we're one of the few towns around that, to use a fancy way of saying, is we import more workers than we export, which is kind of neat. So we do have the retail jobs the beach towns have, but we also have 2 big employers. Merck, the pharmaceutical company, has 2 locations in Millsboro. Then M&T Bank has an operations center, and they employ several hundred people in town. That's in town limits. So, and then of course there's a work from home option, which is becoming more and more.
Tell me more about that. How do you guys even know about that?
About work from home?
I mean, how do you know how many, that it's a big thing there?
I don't know how we got selected. I just got notified that this PC Magazine had named us one of the top 50, and which I thought was awesome because, again, like I mentioned with my friend, him being able to live down here but work in Anne Arundel County, and of course he works long shifts. He's maybe there 2 or 3 days a week, but especially with flexible work schedules, if people can work 12, 18-hour day and then come home, maybe they only have to go to Philly or DC or Baltimore 2 or 3 days a week. Living down here near the beach is an option. We're trying to capture that type of resident for sure.
So, all right, Sheldon. So this is great, and I just love this area, and I think Millsboro is really the go-to spot for trying to move from the city down to this area. So how does somebody get involved with town manager? How does somebody fall into that?
Well, a lot of people ask me, they're like, what is a town manager like? Are you like a mayor, or how does that work? So the easiest way, I've thought about this for a long time to explain it in a way that most people will get. without getting in the weeds too much, is if you think about a school district analogy, it's kind of like a school superintendent, right? So you've got the school board, which is like the town council.
Okay.
You've got a president of the school board, that's kind of like the mayor. And then the town manager is like the superintendent. So we're responsible for the day-to-day operations of the town, is the easiest way of saying it. So it's a lot of fun. I mean, if you like making a difference, if you like making your community better, it's definitely, for the younger viewers, something I would recommend that you look into. I think when I went to school and worked on my government degree, I always had this perception you had to be an elected official to make a difference. But I think if you can build a good rapport with your elected body, lots of times they'll let you kind of, do your thing on a day-to-day basis, and you can really help shape policy, economic development, growth of your town, and be part of shaping your city's future, which is a lot of fun if you're about making things better. So for me, it's people having a better quality of life, enjoying their life, being able to go out and eat and shop and have fun. That's really what drives me in this job. It's not as much the administrative side of the job. It's the economic development, the retail recruitment, the marketing. That's what I really like about what I do. So
yeah, so it sounds like you're kind of like the hub of everything going on. And for someone interested in political aspect of stuff, where you want to make change, but you want to go through the whole process of the elected process and all that stuff, this is a great position to kind of be in the middle, and where you're networking and you're able to kind of look out for everybody and kind of be that person.
You don't have to worry about fundraising. You don't have to worry about an election every 3 years. Now, granted, I do serve at the pleasure of council, so I'm under contract. So if I don't do a good job, there is accountability there. But I think if you do a good job, you build a good rapport, you have the potential to be in that position long term. So as councils change, you can kind of be that constant, that guiding force, that stability over years and even decades. And as long as Millsboro, continues to grow, has a good council, moves in the right direction, I hope to be there long term for sure. So
sounds good. All right. Ready for lightning round?
Yeah, go for it. Go for it.
All right. What is your favorite book, tool, video, software, something that has influenced you in your life that someone can check out?
I would say I really like anything by Orwell, 1984, anything that's a little bit, dare I use the term, conspiratorial, but I think philosophical as well. Also like C.S. Lewis, kind of on the religious side, just some really good stuff there. Favorite tool, geez, I'm not very handy, so I may want to skip that one. But anything that's multi-purpose, I love tools that you can use as a hammer, a screwdriver. That's great.
How does a town run? This is a lightning round question, but does a town use like apps and softwares and stuff like that, or is it mostly just paper still?
I will give a gentleman named Bill Sauer a lot of credit. He was with the town. He's now retired, but he was the finance director as I was coming on with the town about 5 or 6 years ago. He really brought the town into the 21st century, automated a lot of things.
Nice.
Put a lot of things on spreadsheet. We still, as a town, deliberately, and this may seem counterintuitive given that, I'm still on the fairly young side of things, kind of a young Gen Xer, but we deliberately go low tech on some things. We're one of the very few towns our size that does not have any sort of social media, and some people are kind of baffled. But we find that because of rules relative to the First Amendment, if you create a social media page, you really have to have pretty much a wide open platform. And it can become a challenge as far as managing, false information.
You have to have an attorney or something to kind of make sure everything's right.
But then, of course, in my role, I'd be stressed 24/7 what lies are being put out there. And, not that you don't want people to have a forum, but at the same time, maybe a forum is not managed by the town, because if it's an official platform, you kind of have to, I think you can put a little bit of restriction on like pornographic content and, really bad profanity. But beyond that, you pretty much have to let things lie.
Yeah.
And that presents a
And
challenge.
who doesn't? Now you got to decide who's going to do that.
And then that's more of a cost to the town. So we've gone more with we've built really good, I think, relationships with traditional media, newspapers, television stations in the area, and really focus on keeping those relationships strong. And then we do a traditional paper newsletter that goes out with utility bills. And that seems to have worked pretty well for us so far. Now, our police department does have their own Facebook page, but on the town hall side, we've decided to kind of take a wait and see on that. So
what is the number one thing that people don't know about Millsboro?
Oh, wow. Gotta think about that one. A lot of indigenous history in Millsboro. A lot of people think about the Nanacoke tribe being more of the Long Neck area, but research would indicate that the Nanacokes, or their sister tribes, actually did have a presence on the west side of the river, kind of behind Food Lion, Radish Road, Old Landing Road, if people know that area. There apparently were artifacts found, and there's a lot of historical support for an indigenous presence. So I think that's kind of neat. I certainly think historically, just to be a little bit philosophical here, that a lot of indigenous groups have been marginalized and also underappreciated. We've focused a lot on other subgroups that maybe haven't gotten attention, but I think a lot of the indigenous peoples have been neglected. So the town is really trying to make sure we have a good relationship with the Nanacoke tribe, acknowledge their contributions to the town historically and today.
Historic museums and places to check out. There's like a historic district in Millsboro, isn't there?
So it's not a historic district per se, but we do have some historic buildings downtown. A lot of the brick structures have a history tied to them. One of which is the former Ball Theater, which is now known as the Millstone Theater, which is roughly down the area of Blue Water Grill, same side of the road. If you're heading east, it's on the right.
I know that.
It's not in operation right now, but if you ever have a chance to reach out to the owner, the inside of it is absolutely amazing. There's still the Art Deco feel from the 20s and 30s.
Yeah, the history in there is really cool.
Yeah, the whole East Coast, you being from the West, I mean, that's one of the neatest things, especially about the Tidewater, Maryland, Virginia, Delaware, is there's just so much history.
Yeah.
I mean, compared by U.S. standards, nothing compared to Europe, but by U.S. standards, for sure. So.
All right. And what's one question I should have asked you? What's your answer?
Question you should have asked me. I will say this, kind of going back to the vision a little bit. I think Millsboro is in transition. We're going from small town to big town. And what's really neat to me is that there seems to be a lot of public support for that transition. I think there's been a lot of pent-up demand. Millsboro is still kind of a diamond in the rough. I think there's still a lot of unrealized potential. And what I found especially exciting is a lot of the local people, a lot of people with deep roots in Millsboro and Sussex County have been some of the biggest cheerleaders for the change, which is, I think, counterintuitive. Sometimes people think, those who have deep roots want things to stay the same. But I think there's a desire for, parents want to see their kids have opportunity. They want them to feel like they'll have the chance to stay where they grew up if they want to. They want to spread their wings and go away, great. But maybe they come back. Maybe they boomerang. They go away for college, which is common. And we want people to feel welcome. We want that 25, 30-year-old, young man or young woman to feel like they can come home and have a place to go.
Well, talking about social media, you'll see sometimes where you have a few locals, it's usually a few people, and everyone says, they don't want change, they don't want growth. But honestly, I think it's just a few eggs in the basket that are anti-growth because, population is growing. So if you're not on board, you're basically saying no one should have kids. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So to embrace that, and it sounds like you guys, you especially, are really supporting locals, growth, businesses, families, and just overall really kind of embracing, okay, if we are going to grow, which inevitably we will, how can we set up sustainable systems to keep everything going and kind of make everything kind of flow together and keep the original roots of the town still there, but allow the best growth possible. So,
yeah, I mean, I'm a big believer if you're not growing, you're dying. So you constantly have to be evolving. And to your viewers that either are current business owners or have some sort of concept and entrepreneurial spirit, we'd love them to come to Millsboro, whether it's a first location or maybe they want a second location of their existing business. We really take pride in being pro-business, being pro-family, rolling out the red carpet. And yeah, our fees and our taxes are reasonable, and I would say
they dropped too, right?
We've dropped. We've really focused on we've actually seen our property taxes, if you take inflation into account, drop 10 or 15%. Our town property taxes over the last decade. We've looked at impact fees. We cut them about 20% a few years ago. We have to cover our costs, obviously, of our water and sewer infrastructure and our police. But we're not in this to make money. We just want to make sure our costs are covered as a town, the business side of what we do. But as far as making businesses feel welcome, we really try to advocate, and in a sense, being an extension of what the chamber does, of advocating for business and rolling out the red carpet. One of the things we do is we offer free feasibility meetings. So somebody comes in with a concept, I'll invite the whole team to come: engineering, planning, even legal, public works, to sit around the table, and an entrepreneur will come in with a concept
all at once
instead of nickel and dime and emails.
Year-long process.
Absolutely. Take a half an hour, and just hammer it out, and then the person who has the concept feels good because it helps triage may not be the right word, but decide, is this viable or not? And instead of and lots of times it ends up moving forward, and they have a clearer sense of what's expected, what the cost will be. And I think that's something we offer that a lot of towns don't. And there's no cost to do that. So if somebody's interested, call me, Sheldon Hudson, 934-8171. Website's millsboro.org, and email address is town@millsboro.org. So,
all right, guys. So we're going to put all the links down below. And if you guys if you have an idea, actually, I know a few people right now that I've had conversations with about ideas or restaurants or something that you're thinking about doing out in Millsboro area. So if you're watching this, check out Sheldon, reach out to these guys, go to their website, go to the links below, give them a call. And Sheldon,
I can even help them find a location, potentially.
Sounds good. So, perfect. Yeah. All right. I have a feeling you'll be getting some calls. And guys, Sheldon, thanks for coming out here.
Oh, it was my pleasure.
Yes.
Enjoyed it.
Fist bumps. And really excited to have COVID and vaccines out and everyone kind of being allowed to go out again. So a perfect time to check out Millsboro area. And thanks for coming in.
My pleasure.
All right, guys. Keep living the 302 lifestyle, and we'll see you next time.
Take care.
Have you heard of float therapy? Holy cow, this is like the biggest secret in America, I think the world. Famous people, athletes, all these people are doing float therapy. And it's called Urban Float in Rehoboth. You can go to urbanfloat.com, click on Rehoboth, and check out these guys. You're basically sitting on 1,200 pounds of Epsom salt. Everything just feels so amazing. And you're on this weightless, de-stressing pod for an hour. I love it. You get a discount your first time. You can also let them know that you're from 302 Lifestyle. Check them out, guys. Sponsored by Urban Float.
Wish you could spend more time having fun and less time with chores? Go to 302beachtalk.com to get $20 off a home cleaning. You'll be entered to win a completely free cleaning. Eat, play, serve. Sponsored by That Guy with a Broom.